is up, people? Welcome to SLC Punkcast Live and Wired. I am your host, Eric the Unit Norris, and I am here to tell you about some shows that I have attended and some shows that I might attend and that you should attend. Not necessarily in that order, not necessarily the same shows, but still that is what we do here. And yep, February is still a pretty goddamn loaded month for shows, at least in Salt Lake. Maybe it is where you're at. I certainly hope so. I mean, there's a lot of great albums coming out. There's a lot of great bands going on tours to support those albums. Underground or mainstream. Well, as mainstream as punk bands can get. But yeah, it's been a busy couple of months, and it's been kind of a busy week to me, though, for me. But not as busy as I was intending, but we'll get to that shortly. Yeah, I do have at least one tale from the pit, and it was the show that I attended last Friday, and that was the return of Cherem. So yeah, the vegan straight edge hardcore aficionados from the old days of Grudge City, and this was the first time they had played since 2018. 2018, they played a show back at the Beehive, and I don't remember what exactly the occasion was. I can't remember who else they were playing with. It was just an awesome show. I just remember their set specifically, and a fight broke out. That was pretty funny. Pretty funny. I mean, funny in the sense that it's like, yeah, it's all like hardcore, of course. There were no fights at this show, though, but yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. This is Tales from the Pit with X'd Up Fists. So, yeah. I know that title is a little, it's a little misleading because I am not straight edge. I never was. It was not something that appealed to me. Even when I was younger and sober and had no interest in drinking, I just knew. I knew what my discipline status was. I knew that I didn't have enough discipline to completely abstain. So it's sort of like when you're in a courtroom. If you have a reasonable doubt, or not in a courtroom, if you're in a jury room, if the jury is retired to deliberate, if there is any reasonable doubt, then the jury is at a standstill, or deadlocked. Yeah. So they have that was sort of the idea to me. It was like, I don't want to feel like I am limited. You know, it's, that really came down to that personal decision. I didn't want to feel like I was limited, like I had something telling me what to do. If I want to drink, then yeah, I want to have the freedom to be able to do so. You know, that was always my mentality behind it. And, you know, it's different for everybody else. There are people who stay sober and they're not straight edge. There are people who are straight edge but aren't anymore, who are still staying sober. And then you have the sellouts, the guys who claimed edge and then, yeah, they're not anymore because they thought, you know what, drinking, partying, doing drugs, it's actually pretty cool. But then there's like the other way around, the people who were like hardcore drinkers and partiers, and then they went way too hard, and then they figured, yeah, you know what, I need to get clean, I want to get sober, and I feel the need to put the X's on my fist. Me, I never went that far. I still drink, yeah, I drink. I don't really do much anything else these days. It's just kind of that. I drink in moderation. And that's about it. I have control of my liquor. I don't shove it in somebody else's face. I don't care what anybody does, what they put into their body, as long as it doesn't burden them, as long as it doesn't hinder them from living a happy and healthy life. You know, that's kind of the whole point. Anyway, is this a fucking PSA ad, or am I talking about a show? I'm talking about the show. So yeah, I got to the show pretty late. In fact, I was sort of on the fence on if I wanted to go. Not because I was afraid of running into people there that, you know, I was not going to like, or people who I had beef with. It's, I don't have any beef, per se. It's just, I guess I was like in a burnout period. I just felt like just the thought of going to a public space surrounded by a bunch of people was just sort of making me anxious. I'm like, do I want to do that? But then my friend, Destiny, called me saying, hey, are you going to the show tonight? And I thought, well, and she says, because if you are, I want to give you your record. And yeah, I was buying a Cannibal Corpse record off of her. I go, oh yeah, that one. Shit. Well, when am I going to see you again? So yeah, I might as well. So that was the kind of push, the little nudge that I needed. Anyway, so yeah, but it was a lot later. I missed the first two bands. I missed Absolved, which kind of sucks because I love Absolved. I love watching them play. They always put on such a great set, and the crowd gets super hyped. Super hyped. And they got especially hyped this time because I saw some footage of part of their set, and they were covering a Harvest song. That was new. I had never seen anybody cover a song by Harvest. I can't remember which song it was, or at least I can't remember the title, but that was pretty awesome. Harvest is kind of a niche metalcore band. Like, you have to be they're kind of a deep cut. Like, you really got to know your history. You really have to have been really part of the scene, not like you had to be there thing, because they are an established band from the 90s. But yeah, if you dig deep enough, you'll find some gems, some really cool gems, and Harvest is definitely one of them. So I'm bummed that I missed that, but I'm sure it was awesome. And same thing with Sewn Shut. Well, actually, no, Sewn Shut, I came in during their set. The other band that was playing, let me look at the flyer really quick. I'm sure that it's, it's going to be a Dodoy moment for me, I'm sure. Oh no, it's Forever War that I saw. Sewn Shut, I missed their set. Okay, yeah, I'm getting some hairs crossed. Yeah, Sewn Shut is where Sean is singing. Forever War is where Chuck is singing. Okay, all these hardcore bands, they look the same. So yeah, I missed Sewn Shut set, so that was kind of a bummer. But yeah, such things happen. But I did get there in time to see at least most of Forever War set, and I really, really, really like Forever War. They are just bringing that intensity, bringing that old school 90s aggression to back to Salt Lake hardcore. They got their slow parts, chuggy parts, fast parts, metal parts, super sinister sounding, evil Slayer death metal type riffs going on in there. I played some of their music on this show before on the SLC Punkcast, and yeah, it's great stuff. It's really good. I like Forever War, and I guess they just got signed to an underground label. It's off the tip of my tongue. I can't remember what it's called. I'm sure if you look up Forever War, and they will at least have an announcement like, yeah, we're signed to this place. Oh yeah, right here, Life Sentence. They just got signed to Life Sentence, and they are apparently the first new band to have been signed to them for 20 years. They're saying like the last band that was signed there was 2005, and Life Sentence is, they signed various metallic straight edge hardcore bands. I don't know the names of them off the top of my head. I don't know the label all too well. There's so many underground hardcore labels, it'll make your head spin. I kind of lose track, so you'll have to forgive me on that one. But good on Forever War for getting signed. I really hope you guys make it. I hope you guys make it big, I guess. I just hope that your dreams are achieved. It's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Get some more limelight on Salt Lake hardcore. Now that Crow Killer's not doing much, or Cult Leader. Those were the biggest ones coming through in recent times, I mean. So, yeah, who knows? Maybe Forever War will be the next band to really, like, carry the flag of Salt Lake across the states. And into other countries, maybe? Don't hold your breath, but it can happen. It can happen. Anyway, okay, enough sucking on Forever War's dick. What about the main band, Cherem? Cherem. Oh my God. Cherem is one of the first Salt Lake hardcore bands I ever listened to. I got around to listening to hardcore around 2014, 2015. That was when I was really getting into the scene. I was learning about the older bands that came before. And I remember stumbling across an article from this zine, maybe it was Slug Magazine, about Cherem and how they were releasing their album. Oh, Jesus, I am just losing all the... I've just got to lose the momentum because I'm forgetting song titles or album titles. It was the one with the one they released in 2006. We Are the Revolution. We Are the Revolution. Okay, I knew it was We Are something. So yeah, they did We Are the Revolution, and there was they were talking about that album. They were reviewing that album and saying how Cherem was like becoming the next big band of Salt Lake, and they always say that. They always say that. But honestly, they were among the heaviest, and they really were making a name for themselves. They did some touring. They did some minor tours around there, but it never quite went anywhere significantly large, which sucks because Cherem had a great message. Of course, veganism and a lot of the socio-political rhetoric that still haunts us to this day. And yeah, just this last year, like last year in late 2025, they dropped their new single, Whose Side Are You On? And that was just like out of the blue. People were like, wait, what? There's a new Cherem song? What have these guys been doing for the last 10 years or so? So it was awesome. And I played that song when it came out last year. And yeah, it's Cherem doing what they are doing. And it's pretty brutal. So this was like their announcement, like, hey, we're back and we're writing new music. And yeah, I talked to Trevor and their singer Billy French. Trevor's their guitarist, by the way, Trevor Hale. And I was asking, so what's the status with the new music? He said, well, there are 2 songs that are complete. Obviously, Whose Side Are You On? And then one other new one. The other ones need to do vocal tracking. And then, of course, mixing and mastering and stuff like that. They say that they're going to have it ready by the spring. But, it's just a matter of time. I know how recording goes. And the older you get, the more it's hard to line up schedules. It's such a bitch. But, you can't rush it. And you can appreciate the time. With all the time and effort that is put into it, you will value that music a lot more. So anyway, with that, how was the show? The show was off the fucking chain. There were so many pits, so much karate, so many kicks a spinning, fists a flailing, and pile-ups aplenty. It was gnarly, especially when they did the Retribution song. They saved that for the very last, but they were also doing like they were doing some other songs on there. I was really hoping that they would play This Failure. I even joked as like, what if they play I Hate George Bush? They didn't. They didn't. But they did do One More Day. And they did do In Silence. And yeah, they did the 2 new songs, Whose Side Are You On? And also the one that nobody heard. But they were met with a lot of fervor. And of course, when they did Whose Side Are You On? Everyone was piling up. Not me. I was staying safe. I was like on the right side of the crowd. And I had like 2 or 3 people in front of me just to ensure that I wasn't going to get hit. When I say in front of me, is like I was side standing. And there was like 2 people and then the pit area. So I had this nice little barrier in front of me. So I was safe. I was safe. As long as I had 2 people next to me, in front of me, or anything like that, I was not going to get hit. I'm not exactly in the process I'm not exactly in the position of pitting at hardcore shows. Not after my injury. I cannot risk that. But even people that were standing on the side of the stage, they weren't even safe, because I remember one guy, he got up onto the stage, like stage right, and he just jumped off into the people he jumped into the people that were standing off to the side. Most of them were like, younger kids, like people around my age, maybe a few years younger. So, and of course, they weren't like pissed or anything. They just shrugged it off like, yeah, that's the way it goes. And yeah, for the most part, it was pretty chill. There wasn't any fights. Nobody trying to show up on anybody. Just everyone coming in to watch some good fucking music. And let me tell you guys, the last time I saw Cherem play, it was a fairly well attended show, but it wasn't as big as this one. This one, the show was sold out. I should mention the show was sold out. I had like. And it's a good thing that the promoter, Jaws, me and her were homies. We go back a ways. She was like, yeah, Eric, just come on in. Because I hadn't bought my ticket yet, but but I guess it's like I'm a favorite. People know who I am. Shit like that. Was that kind of a douchey thing to say? Well, why else? It's because they know I'm not going to go in, be a dick, and cause problems or anything. And yeah, it's not like I don't do anything. I give back to this community. I'm giving back right now. So, yeah, suck my dick. I'm kidding. Just thank you, Jaws, for letting me in. That was really cool of you. Thank you. It also helped that the show was like halfway over by the time I arrived. So, yeah, was kind of an easy choice. So yeah, that was yeah, if anything, it was a great show. It was awesome. It was great seeing people that I hadn't seen in a long time. And it just hit me like the first time I ever saw Cherem was 12 years ago. 12 years. It was during the Brad Bricks Memorial Show. And that was when I saw like pretty much all, well, not all, but a good chunk, like the cream of the crop of Salt Lake hardcore. That was my first time seeing not just Cherem, but Aftermath of a Train Wreck, Skeek DeBarg, Pushing Up Daisies, and Clear. And that is the only time I've seen Clear. That is the comeback I'm waiting for. It's like, we got Cherem, yes. We got Pushing Up Daisies. That was one people didn't think was going to happen. But here they are. And they said that they're going to be writing new shit. So, yeah. So where the fuck is Clear? Who knows if they'll ever reunite? I mean, it would be awesome if they did. It sure would. That would be a hell of a fucking... Yeah, that would be a hell of an endeavor. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe Clear will come back. Maybe they won't. The last time they played was 12 years ago. But we'll see. We shall see. Cherem, though, it's good to have you guys back. It's good to see you playing shows, and it's good to see people getting way excited about it. Like a whole new generation has discovered these guys, and I am amongst them. Well, right now, there's a generation below me who is all coming in. Coming into Salt Lake hardcore. I'm not trying to pull the old man card. Look at me. I'm just saying it's awesome that younger people are being turned on to the older music. You got to respect your elders, kids. Okay, that was my old man moment. Not even that old. I shouldn't be talking like that. But that was my tale from the pit. And I was going to have another tale from the pit because my band Anonymous was scheduled to play with Acid Hologram and Savage Master on Wednesday. But Savage Master got stranded in southern Utah because the highways were closed, because all of a sudden this winter decided to be winter. And it was a huge snowfall. This huge storm just came rolling through Utah and was being pelted. They were in like, southern, almost mid-Utah, like in Richfield, Cedar City area. And yeah, all the highways were closed off. You could not go in, you could not go out. You were just stuck there. So they weren't able to make it up to the show. And they were coming from, I think Vegas was their last show. And they were going to come up to Salt Lake, but they got snowed in and they couldn't move. And it snowed all day Wednesday. All day. So it's not like they could wait for the storm to pass. So the show got canceled. I was fucking devastated. All of us were. I mean, I got the email from Max of Acid Hologram. He sent me a screenshot of the email, I should say, from the singer of Savage Masters and giving them their situation. And I was so bummed. I sent the sent the screenshot of the email over to my band and said, "This sucks, guys," basically. And yeah, we were all pissed, but I don't think anyone was more pissed about it and bummed out about it than Bryce was. Because Bryce, he said that he had been jamming Savage Master like all week, the whole week leading up to this show, just pumping himself up, and now it's not happening. He is like, no, fuck. I go, me too, man. Me too. All of us are fucking pissed that we can't play this show. I was looking forward to this. Just have all my friends there, my Acid Hologram. I love those guys. It's awesome to be on a show with them. And it's just awesome that we would have been playing with, in Kilby Court with an established touring band. It would have been awesome. It would have been an awesome show. I hope that they can come back and sort of make up for this. I'm not saying that they're going to tag us on at like the end of their tour on their way back home, because that's all dependent on whether or not it can happen, if any venue will have them and if anyone's available that day. So yeah, it's really not that. It's kind of it's wishful thinking at that point. Will it happen? Probably not, but we know that Savage Master will be back. They've toured here plenty of times, and they love Salt Lake City, and yeah, they know they have our number. We'll say that, and yeah, we'll just we can just hope that they'll come back sooner rather than later. Do a bit of a makeup show a few months down the line, maybe, but only time will tell. Speaking of stuff that's going to be happening in the future, let's talk about some of the shows that are coming up. For on this this Saturday, the 21st, it's already pretty stacked. We got 3 shows to talk about. 3. There is Higher Law, Recomposed, Slow-Mo Speedwalk. Yeah, all 3 of those guys at the Ice House. That is a $5 show. Nice, and it starts at 9 p.m. Meanwhile, Risk, Sacred Path, Run It Back, and Carrier are going to be playing at the Fellowship Hall. That is a $12 show, and it starts at 8 p.m. Then on the over at Urban Lounge, this is the show that I will be going to, a Wilhelm Scream with Death by Stereo and Doomsday. I love those 2 bands. I haven't heard Doomsday. I should check them out. But Wilhelm Scream, I've seen them 4 times. They always put on a hell of a show. And Death by Stereo, also a fucking party. At least so I'm told. I have never seen them, but their music is a party. And I'm going to bring my friend Josh to that. Well, he's my friend. He's also my bandmate, and he's been going through some really tough times right now. Not my place to say what he's been going through, but if anything, he needs... and he was super bummed that he couldn't play the show at Kilby Court, so I'm going to take him out, show him a good time. Well, we're going to go see a cool show together, not drink. He's sober now. Yeah. But and that has nothing to do with the hard time he's going through right now. I'm just saying he's been sober for a while, so we're not going to go out drinking, but he loves Death by Stereo. Loves them, and I want us to go out, and I want us to have a good time. Just me and him as homies. Love it. Hopefully he'll say yes. I still got to buy my tickets. Let's not do that again. Anyway, like I said, Urban Lounge, it's $23 and it starts at 7 p.m. Then on the 22nd, this is pretty crazy. Bad Omens, Beartooth, and President playing at the Delta Center. Now, Bad Omens is just like they're a metalcore band, although right now they're like experimenting with soundscapes like ambient and things like that. And I mean, it's still good, but I would never have expected a metalcore band to be headlining a show at an arena, the Delta Center. That's where the Utah Jazz plays, and the Utah Mammoths also play. Yeah, I mean, good on them. I just never thought it was possible. So, I mean, maybe people will show up and it's going to be like half the arena is full and most of it's down in the pit. Well, I mean, good luck, because the tickets If you go on SeatGeek, the cheapest ones are $74. And if you want to be in the pit, it's $474. So yeah, take your pick. If you want to throw down, it's going to cost you a small fortune. Just weird. Metalcore bands in an arena, it just doesn't seem like it goes together. Even when they play like bigger venues, it seems a little off. But yeah, whatever. I mean, good on them. You know, I hope they're getting paid very handsomely. So all of them. I hope they're all doing well. Anyway, yeah, Bad Omens at the Delta Center, 7 p.m. Moving on, the 23rd, Silver Talon is coming to Salt Lake, and our friends in Sacrilegion and Exclusionist are going to be opening up for him. That's going to be a metal as fuck show, and that's going to be where else? Aces High Saloon. They host all the underground metal shows. Actually, they kind of do. Anyway, that's a $15 show, pretty cheap for a touring band, and that starts at 7 p.m. And then on the 25th, Chemical X, DTA, and Fight the Future are going to be playing up at Black Lung Society. That is a $12 show, and it will start at 7 p.m. And then on the 27th, we got a couple. We have Sloppage, Crocodile Hunter, Rexal Autopsy, and Nephthylamine. I think so. I didn't do well in chemistry, and part of which was I didn't know how to pronounce some of these chemicals. But anyway, that's nephthylamine. That's going to be a Black Lung Society, $12, starts at 7 p.m. And then over down here in Salt Lake, our friend Kid is having his birthday party. Kid from MPNK, formerly of the One Too Manys, and also Life Has a Way. But for his birthday, Life Has a Way is reuniting, and they're going to be playing an awesome set. I played a lot of shows with Life Has a Way. I've seen them a bunch of times. They are good they are good musicians, a great band. I really miss them. So I'm going to go check that out. Also playing them will be Means Nothing and Brother Todd and the Fuck Offs. That's going to be at Liquid Joe's. It is a free show. Come party for free. You're going to need all your money for drinks. It starts at 8 p.m. And then also on the 28th, on the 28th is this little fun local festival called Save Me From My Room. Well, no, that's the production company. Save Me From My Room presents a festival you will never forget. And so humble. Okay, some of the out-of-towners we got here are Rogerin, a place where we've always been. All one word. Fuck you for that. It's hard to read. Giera, Arcadia Fades, Lost and Found. Lost Not Found. And then Tomorrow We Fly. With local support from My Pet Spider, Words of Contempt, Sutures, Misbegotten, Sewn Shut, Beretta, and Coloplasia. So, yeah, that's a hell of a fucking lineup. And that's going to be taking place up at the Black Lung Society. It is $15. Not bad. Not bad considering the lineup you have here. The amount, that's like $1 per band. How many bands we got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so 13. A dollar and some change to see all of these bands. Not bad. Not bad. So, yeah, definitely check that shit out. It starts at 2:30, by the way. Starts at 2:30. Going to be going on all through the night. Good on them. And if you're not going to be, but if you don't want to go all the way up north, well, Magna Vega, Dragster Gas, and Unseen Corners are going to be playing down at Aces High Saloon. That is $10, and it starts at 7 p.m. And where I will be that night, I'll be partying with all the gypsy punks. Gogo Bordello coming back to Salt Lake with Puzzles Panther and Boris and the Joy. No, it's not Boris. I wish. But Boris was already here. They were on the tour for the 20th or 25th anniversary of their album Pink. And yeah, it's unlikely that they will be back here. Those guys are from Japan. They're not going to come back within the same fiscal year. It's not exactly, I mean, it would be awesome to see Boris with Gogo Bordello. It would be awesome to see Boris, period. But no, this is a different one. It's Boris and the Joy. Yeah, that's going to be a hell of a show. It's going to be at the Union Event Center. Tickets are $46 after all the fees and shit. And it's going to start at 7 p.m. And that rounds out the month. That is all the shows left for February. So if you guys want to finish strong, hit up any of those shows. It'll be a great time. Well, the time is as great as you make it. And that's what brings me to the end of this episode. Thank you guys for listening. And I'm really happy that you guys are still tuning in, even though I can't be, I can't be physically there and you can't see my physical face, but this is just how it's going to be for a little while longer. For just a little while longer. I don't know when the end point is going to be, but trust me, things will get back to normal. Things will get back to normal, or maybe a new normal, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, the point is I'm doing what I can to make this work. So yeah, once again, thank you guys for tuning in this week for Live and Wired and Tales from the Pit. I really have a good time talking about these shows and just getting the word out. Hopefully you guys are listening. Hopefully you don't just fast forward through everything and just get to the show announcements. I want to know what's coming up. Or maybe you guys like hearing my stories. I don't know. I don't really know. I don't really get the feedback. I don't see the feedback, but at least every once in a while I do. But for those of you who have listened all the way up to this point, thank you guys. You guys are fucking kick-ass. I hope that you were able to make it to some of the shows out there. Hopefully and I hope that you have a good time, and I hope that you return unscathed. But if you don't, hopefully you have a cool story to come with it. And once again, I am your host, Eric the Unit Norris of SLC Punkcast, Live and Wired and Tales from the Pit. And I'll catch you in the next episode. I'll see you in the pit, motherfuckers. Dustin, it's all you now.
Thank you, Eric. And now we go around the world with a handful of shows for you this weekend. So hopefully they are in your area, and I'm sure there's plenty of shows in your area. If you'd like us to share those shows here, let us know. For now, got one I think this one's in Charlotte, North Carolina at Rhino Market, an all-ages show. It's February 21st, 8 p.m. show, $10. You get to see the Slads, Sick 'em, Paint Fumes, and Freak Out. So go check out a bunch of killer bands there. Our pals Intention Scale have a show coming up on the 28th at the Lafayette Club in Amesbury, Massachusetts. So go see them. Hope to get to see them before too long. They're killer. Had them on Punkanoi Worldwide. Then this weekend, February 21st, it's a 4 p.m. show on Saturday. $25 in advance, so still time if you're catching this on Saturday. But it's $35 at the door. All ages, Pinche Punks Festival. It'll be in San Antonio. Address there, lower right corner of the flyer. The Hellflowers, the Rumors, the Guilty Strangers, the Oxys, Deadweight, Rotting Corpse, the Despicables, Sucky Panthers, Sex Mex, Sad Plant, Tex, or TX, Terroristic Threat, Bat Allison, and I think Hour of Pearl might be the venue. Maybe that's still a band. I don't know for sure, but nonetheless, tons of bands. Go check out that festival. Our pal Jenny Wu in Southern California. Today, she's in San Diego at Tower Bar. On the 21st, Glendale, California, Brew Yard. Pasadena on the 22nd at a backyard party. On the 26th, she'll be in L.A. at the Redwood and then coming back down to Indio, California at the Dune Room on March 8th. Then we move to February 28th. Hardcore punk with Total Chaos, Reclaimed. I think Total Chaos is on tour, and this one is in Vitry-sur-Seine, France. But Sonder Rage also there. Looks like a couple Paris bands making their way out to that show. Looks like an awesome show. I would check out Total Chaos there at Total Chaos_official over on Instagram and see where else they might be, they'll be in France for sure. Then on Saturday, February 21st, a free show brought to you by Nothing Less Booking. The Stitches, Taste Testers, Rails, Hyperminds, and the Newvilles. And that's at First Street Billiards in L.A. It's 7 p.m. for the doors. 18 and older. Go see Stitches. Cool stuff there. Next up, let's go to Drunken Rampage. I think, is this one in New York? Baker Falls. I'm not sure where Baker Falls is. Somewhere. Oh, New York City maybe. Uh, F-Bomb Underground presents, there it is, at Baker Falls. That's the venue in New York City. Got it. All right. That's today. 7 p.m. doors. First band's at 8. Get yourself there. It's a 21 and older show. $15 at the door. And you get to see Drunken Rampage, who looks like they're on at 11. Speds on at 10. Polyabuse on at 9. And Chum Huffer on at 8. So 4 killer bands. You know exactly when they're all going on. So get there early so you can go see Chum Huffer. Then we'll go to the Queers. They are playing on February 22nd. This is a suckerpunchproductions.com, and this will be at Solaris in Marietta, California. You get to see the Queers, VCS, Infirmities. It's an all-ages show. I think Taken Days, Razor Sharp, and Cadaver Pudding are all bands too, I want to say. Good stuff there, though. You get to see the Queers in California, so go check them out and go see our pals in the Infirmities. Then this show is in Scotland. And where? The Audio Lounge. I believe this is, I think I've got this right, in Scotland. You get to see Thrown Away. And it looks like profits donated to CAD. God, it's hard to read that font. Sorry. Protection Scotland. Okay. It is the Bleeders as well. Terry's 21st birthday. It's £9 in advance, 12 at the door. Corrupt Intentions also playing. Audio Lounge is the venue, and this is 21st of February at 7 p.m. BYOB, Glasgow, there we go. I love the flyer. I love the art of the flyer, but when I'm trying to read it on the fly, it's not as easy to read. But if you got a moment, you can really enjoy it, and that's one of the reasons why we do this as well, to enjoy all the artwork and all the stuff put in on the flyers. And then finally, the Wynonas, formerly known as Dude Smell. We played them several times, including, I think last week we played new stuff because the Wynonas just dropped a full length. Well, they've got a whole bunch of shows, including their album launch party, which is February 21st. Rehearsal rooms, Barrie, I think maybe that's the location, but go to the Wynonas band. You can see they've got shows, several in March, April, May, June, and August, all the way up through Rebellion Festival, which I'm going to go see them there. All of that included here. So there you go. If there's shows that you think we should be mentioning and some cool flyers that we should all be checking out, send them our way. Otherwise, thank you for tuning in to Eric's Tale from the Pit and this week's Live and Wired, and we will catch you next week.